Alright, good evening everybody. Just getting set up. Few things I want to try to get done tonight. I should push this up and out of the way a little bit so I can get to this other part down here. Get this opened up a little bit. There we go. So I can check these out more easily, reference my own pages. Alright. And pin. There we go. So, let me think. I'm going to work on these thumbnails here a little bit. There we go. So, these are some thumbnails I started for a shorter story than the one I started off with, and I was thinking maybe I should work on that a little bit. Because I had some ideas about how it might work a little bit better after doing these little parachute things. I need more of them, but yeah, so we gonna do a row here. So we have like our cover, credits. Well, I'll probably just do credits in here as usual. Maybe a cover on the other side, I guess. And yeah, so initially I had a guy kind of looking out over a scene, kind of starting out, but I'm wondering if maybe I should scoot it up ahead in the story a little bit. Like we could show him already kind of in the air, maybe on his little parachute thingy. Maybe. So originally, I have him up here kind of looking at the scene, looking out over the area where he's going, where he's coming from. So I think maybe it's a good idea to start either here or there. Well, I kind of like the first page. Maybe it's like it's good idea just to have him have those eyes. Yeah, the goggle things here he's looking through. Some kind of asymmetrical alignment there. And then we can pull back a bit. And we see a little bit of what he's looking at inside here. Let's see. Let's put on some music. to listen to. Good evening, people popping in. Sorry, just thinking about this little story here. Something maybe ways I can make it a little bit more interesting. So say you got maybe a view of him looking out. I'll say this is like 100 years post landfall. Something like that. And then kind of want to have a scene of where he's at, like a major one here. Calmly looking out. I feel like this and this could be combined a little bit more. Like maybe cut to just one shot of him kind of looking out. Like that. We could have like a larger panel down here. He's putting on his pack. Let's scoot him forward a little bit. Not exactly erasable, but you know, whatever. He's putting on his pack. Have a clearer view of who he is. Took super close up, and then establishing shot of him maybe over here. And we can see his glider over here a little bit. They were kind of moving down this way. Or even smaller. Put him in here smaller than that. Something like that. So he's like that big over here, maybe. Standing on what looks like a cliff edge. Or we could even back that up a little bit more. I wish we were using a regular pencil for this so I can erase it. But maybe, you see this. What he's looking at out over here. Come out to here. You see some of the background there. Or maybe it's better just like put the ship behind him over here, which would put it over there. Or we could have him stand over here. So that might make more of an interesting arrangement. Or See that there. Put that on the edge. Let's put them higher up to make it feel more scary. Now we could pull back here. You can see a ship poking up over there a little bit. You see more of it this way. Recognizable shape there, something like that. Kind of looking out over the landscape a bit there. Put him down there. Kind of like, what's the landscape? And then we can see him. Do a full page, at least double spread there. And he jumps. Something like that. And maybe we cut in something recognizable. It's a little janky up there tonight. Doesn't bother anybody too much on the other computer. Cut in full shot. Got the bramble structure there. Maybe here we've got two things. Maybe his hand kind of clicks on something. And then we see this start to pop out something. Something like that. Something like that. And there's the balloon thing coming out his back. Something like that. Something like that. You can see those there. And then maybe here, let's see him floating around. I don't know. Maybe I'm spending too much time on this. Instead of just walking before, and I kind of liked him just like hiking over there. But if you add this in, gotta show how it works, right? Something. Or maybe I can do this sort of thing. So maybe show a little bit more of this up here, and then he can be kind of floating along. And we can see where he's going down here. We can see a crash site down there. Flatten this out across there so it doesn't cause a problem. So maybe here we could do close-ups or something. Pull back even farther. And then we pull this ripcord thingy. Oh, hello, Bosch. Welcome back. The dog left me for the other room for a little while. Yes, come over here. And then we could show it deploying across here. So he grabs it thingy there, hits the button. And we just show a mechanical function going off over here where there to there. Quasi medium shot. And we can see what's on his pack. All right, Bosch. Come over here. Maybe it's more forward, we can see kind of here. And we can see the curve here, and then the thing on his back deploying the get closer up, deploying the chute. I can see it coming out. Get his little balloon coming out there. And we're peacefully sailing across the scene. Or we can show up on the next page. You see this thing back here crashed out. So we can have maybe a long shot up here, a wide shot of it. The ship here crashed. See him coming in. And yeah, the distance between him and the ship over here. We see kind of a big rip right through it and a thing sticking out. It's all crumpled up and broken from the crash. There's plants growing on it because it's been there a while. Maybe we see its name on the side. So it's something he's been talking about in here. And frame him with some of that material, and then this stuff can be back a little further. And here's the pillar sticking out of it, and we can see maybe wings or something sticking up. And it's just completely shredded up on the inside by what it went through. Just sliced right through. Probably zoom in from up above, huh? There we go. A little thumbnailing here. I think that might work a little better. We had an interesting shot there. Maybe we could do a two-page spread thing here with this too. We could also like show him, get a little closer, still do another long thing here with him landing and going back in. It's another back shot so we can see that, and we can still keep the ship in sight. Maybe we're closer, still looking down on it. We see the damage on it and more details. And then it's interesting because I've already done a lot of this stuff before, so it's interesting to think through how it should work, right, Bosch? This can give me some ideas for a little more expanded shots from these. Just scoot that over a little bit more. So we're up to 5 there. See the damage and the big wing back there, and maybe the engine. All right, Bosch. Good evening, people popping in. Don't mind me talking to myself, I hope. We see our hero kind of looking at it over it. See his equipment. maybe here we see, you know, that coming in, and then we see him kind of deploy his little drone. So we got wide, medium, a wide, super wide, medium, close up. And then we want him to approach the ship. So you're over here, it's another frame, and he's walking up. So maybe checking something here. Looking down on him just so he feels a little smaller. Just checking something here. Maybe we see his little drone pop off or something start to fly away. That way you can see the two of them march off, and he's got his pack on here. It's not there anymore. And you can kind of see it floating over here as they approach the structure. A little simple exploration story rather than the more complicated one I was looking at. There we go, maybe click. You see it lift off over here, come over there. And it's moving that way. Something like that. Good evening. Alright, so then they go from here. This might be a good way for a full page thing where he's like looking in. So we could have him get a sense of where he's going. We haven't done like a big shot of him yet either, so we've got him like medium up here. Maybe this could be the biggest one so far. Something like that. And then we're kind of moving towards the ship, and then we can see him kind of walk in. Do a little call out, and he's like looking up, lifting up his goggles or something. A look of surprise, maybe. And then we see what he's looking at, which is the pillar thing. We want it to be kind of an upshot. Let's see the wreckage kind of plowed around it. I'll definitely get us, you know, the 6 pages here plus back. You can see the wrecked up ship bent, broken around it. Just a bunch of trash and plant growth and all kinds of craziness in here, broken up architecture and maybe we see the hint of some other thing sticking out over here he's not aware of. So I could take this further. Up here is something embedded in there. So we have our arrival, a little traveling, entering, and then the surprise. So, I mean, that'd be enough for a short little 6-page thing. Just do a little cover and see the drone in here checking things out. Pull in. Good, even people popping in. Let's do a little thumbnailing here. I want to do a little shorter story just to kind of, work on my layouts. So, that day I was concepting out this guy right here, his little shoot thing. So I think that might be a good place to start. Just as one character exploring, we kind of see how things work. Get a nice view of what's going on. And maybe on the cover we could do something with his ship. Like a big hero shot of a character or something. Inside back. I see the wreckage all torn up in here, and we can put in some elements. Imply future dangers up here. Yeah, the wildlife and things that are here. I think that could be a good place to start. Taking our little close-up here. That there. Of his face. He was holding up his thing, or he's just got it strapped on. Surprise thing. So, what do you think? So here he is, close up of him looking out. We've got medium shot, well, super close up, medium shot, we pull back and we kind of get where he's kind of standing and looking over an edge. And then kind of a bigger shot of his scene. We can see his little glider here. And then he jumps off this big ledge where we see a big landscape. See him falling off. It's a very strange kind of falling off point, and we see it's like a giant arch or something here. And then he clicks something here, hits a control or whatever, and we start to see where he's kind of grabbing it there. Something starts to come off his back, and we see the little device here shooting out a chute and comes out over here. A little repetitive in there maybe, but maybe it's a wider shot of him close up, and then he's fiddling with something. Then we go super close to the fist holding something. And then we see the device on his back pop off, and we see that. That sounds a lot better. So, just trying to come up with something simple that I can do. So something bramble based. So we see him jump in there. Let's see his ship up there. Landscape there. Leads over to the next one very directly. And then it's kind of a medium shot of him, and he's fidgeting with something. There's his pack back there. And here would be the hand clicking. You'll see it touch whatever thing it has to touch, or click control. And then here will be the device. Maybe it's on the back. You see it kind of pop off a lid or open up or something. I see something start to come out. I see the drone behind it, and then we see the thing emitting out of his back, and there he is. And then it's this balloon. And he's using that to kind of guide himself where he needs to go. And then you see him coming in for landing, and you see this same kind of shape over here, over there. And you see him kind of on the ground. And it, redeploys back inside. And starts walking over, and we see his drone kind of pop off and start to float forward in front of him, and then we go into here. So that's what I'm thinking. I feel like that's kind of doable in a relatively short period of time. So I'd want to maybe do some rough sketches here of some of these shots, and then do a larger rough, and then print that out on real paper and do some inking. Not all tonight, obviously, but I feel like that'll work for a short little story here. So I wanted to do a couple of these shorter things before I jump into that bigger story I've been thinking about. So set this over on the side. So, because sketching these things out here, so there's the wreck and possible ideas for different things about it. This is probably a little closer to what I'm looking at. And there's a shot inside, maybe. And this is the guy who was playing around with like this kind of uniform here. That kind of deployment. Maybe these are the balloon shapes. There's a shot of the pack over here on the left. Something like that would work. Don't know that I'll do the cybernetic thing. I don't think I'll leave that off. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking through. Anybody else have any thoughts there? Any recommendations, considerations? So just feel like that's a little more doable than some other things I was looking at in terms of time and complication. So I'll do some sketches of that guy. We'll build that out a little bit better, just so we have like a front back view, 3/4 side view. So if we have a front view, let's build out his stance here. put in the general physique. It's kind of a more standard build. Make sure the arms are long enough on him. I should do this more with a regular pencil. Let's knock that back. Let's grab these two. So I kind of know what I want it to look like, so it's more or less like this. So he has a little jumper feet on there too to help him kind of hop around more easily. So side of the pencil, right, to get a little more gestural in here. Pop that out a little bit. Good, everybody popping in? How are we doing out there? Let me, don't fall off pencil. I'll stick this over here just for my reference so you can kind of see a little bit. And then looking on turnarounds for this thing. Obviously, it'd be easier to do this on the computer or iPad or something, but long lines, make sure it's not too distorted, right? In terms of you know, layout. Get some proportions in there. And then in terms of the outfit, so we've got this, let's shrink that head down a little bit more. We've got this hood on, and it connects kind of up here. A zipper coming down, and then kind of goes into a belt, and then kind of spreads out below that, so we've got room for like pouches and things on top, and then it has these kind of wide sleeves, almost like a poncho kind of thing. Maybe, you know, not quite symmetrical there. And then we've got this for the pack, as well as that, and going across the chest. And that way it, you know, nice snap right there. Actually, where's the one I was looking at? Yeah, there we go. Pull that up so I have that. So we can pull this down. Something like that, right? Yeah, okay, this can come down further, I think. I like the angle on that. It's always good to check your sources, right? And then we can have his binocular things down here. And then connections there and there. It's hitting the shoulder in a good spot. I kind of like the wingish qualities there, just because they kind of imply, you know, flight or something like that to a certain degree. And the hands can come down, and then this can kind of come over here. And that's kind of the top half. And then for his pants, I kind of like that one. Two, I'll say we do some kind of flight pants where it's like a little fatter and looser up here, and it gets like really tight as it comes down. Get these pouches here. Let's see. So that comes in there. I can pop this out. Step by step, right? Everything one after the other. So I guess that needs to come in a little bit more. Axis will come in, go out a little bit, go in, go out. What are we doing for kind of boot on him? That's right, he has, it's not just boots, but he's got like this, kind of what you see on paraplegics, or the that girl in Portal. So he can kind of jump around. Maybe it has like a bit of a broader base for jumping around on general terrain. The dog's sleeping. Jumping around a little bit. Probably get the kind of tighter thing here and looser as it goes up. Something like that, right, for the general layout of the character. So it feels a little like he's leaning to the left a little bit, so maybe I need to move this leg out just so we get a little more balance on him. I notice there's like, most of us have like a little bit of a lean to our drawing, so we tend to like lean one way or the other. So I tend to lean kind of to the left a little bit on the drawings. So I wanted to balance that out. What I'm going to do is drop a plumb line first. Let's see, where'd that ruler go? Is this level mostly? I think so. So yeah, it's not quite centered. So if that's the center, yeah, he's definitely kind of got a little bit of a lean, but maybe if I do it that way, I can straighten it out later. I don't know. Guess we can just have like a little bit of a 3/4 turn. So we can go, this leg forward, this one to the left. Something like that. Some spot for his the device will be up here. Pin to his chest. That way this stuff can go kind of up, higher up. Let's see. Something like that. And then this can kind of show this coming out. Something like that, maybe. Push that leg out a little bit more, simplify that out. Glove, obviously, right? And we can push this shoulder out. Something like that. All right. All right, let's get these measurements moved over. All right, looks okay as a straight line. Alright, there we go. Actually, maybe I'll just use the triangle. See if that'll be a little smarter. Just slap that there. There we go, that'll be better. Right up against the paper. Alright, we got our heights transferred over. Alright, so if we do a back view, just grab some of these widths here. So if we grab U, that's 5. And then the middle would be right there. So these lines right here, these are elevations. So I'm going to do a back view and a side view. And so I just want to make sure I'm putting them more or less in the same spot. And that way I can replicate it. Let's see. Make sure this is nice and straight. This is like the midline right here. And then I can say, okay, look, this here and this here is the same as that, side to side. So this is matching up with this side here. And then this will be about 3. So there's like the shoulders coming down. This is the back view though. So that's what I'm kind of doing. I'm replicating the elevation side to side. It's pretty common. Yeah, well, you can do this on the computer a little easier, but as long as I can kind of get it most of the way there. Up. That makes sense. Let's see, here's his bottom of those pouches over here. So there should be some on kind of on the side. This is the belt going around the back. Probably leave off the backpack just so I can see his back here. It'll fit kind of like right in here. That's where the backpack will go. But I'll probably just set that off to the side just so we can see the back. Yeah, so we're just kind of transferring elevation and sizes side to side just so I have an easier time. There's easier ways of doing this on the computer, obviously, like I could just drop this over the other thing, but I've just been kind of into drawing more analog these days. So I can see the hand stops here. Alright, and then here's this part right here, and this will be a little split in the back. And the belt is like right there. We'll put like a pouch or something back here on the belt. I might need to change the shape of this jacket a little bit, but that's okay. We got space here. That'll go in, that'll go out a little bit. So there's the tightening area up here. Let's narrow that up a little bit. Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a genius character designer. It's actually one of the areas I don't have as much experience with, but maybe we'll just put the pack on here since it's going to be on the whole time anyway. Let's see, we'll put the strap this way. Good evening, people popping in. And then this will be the drone. right there. And let's see some details on the pack I wanted to include, like a pouch this way, a pouch this way, and one right here. And we've got the containers here. And then something else over here. And then like a little thing here. I'll change that angle there. Oh, you know, we'll see, right? All right, let me get these little things here. And then probably ink over these. So there's front, back, and then we need a side. One of the nice things about having a dog is he can lay under your feet and you can scratch his back while you're sitting at your desk. It's definitely a big plus, I think. Right, Bosch? He doesn't seem to mind. Oh, 9 o'clock already, huh? Alright, so now let's go for a side view. We got the torso. Actually, I need to get a little more space because I want to put that pack in there. Yeah, it's a lot easier to do this on your iPad or a computer or whatever, but I kind of want to do more, you know, here. There we go, get the build in here, probably leave this open and then put his arm kind of over here on the side, just so we're not, so we can see kind of through. Got this one right there. Some pouch here, big pouch in the back. And then the pack will go here. And then we've got the circle thing over here. Pouch there, pouch there. And then this is the little thing right here. Actually it comes up to here. And there's the hoodie. Something like that. And we'll push this back with an eraser to ink over it later. But probably actually stop soonish once I kind of get these in here. So that way I can sleep on it, right? Alright, so kind of attachment. I should probably look into seeing how these actually attach to people's legs or use these in real life. And then that's here. There we go. And the arm will go there. Good evening. Alright, and then this will be the arm. So we'll put this down. Come into here. And that's where that will finish off. Good evening over there on Kick. How we doing? Doing a little character design tonight. Was doing some thumbnail. I'm trying to do some shorter stories, so I thought we could come up with like a simple character, doing a little exploration, and do some like shorter stories. So that's what we got going on. And me and my squeaky chair or my sleepy dog. this thing. We got him. Good evening. Oh, I appreciate that. It's very nice of you to say. Yeah, just sketching. So, yeah, we were doing some thumbnailing over here. I'm not really a comics person, so this is kind of new to me. It's a little janky, I think, maybe on the broadcast. I need to restart that computer, but I've got this larger story. But I thought I would do some simpler ones. So there's this guy going out to explore a specific area and see what he finds out there. But work on that visual communication. But I need somebody to go on the trip, and so this will be the guy to do that. So that's kind of a rough layout of him, and then let's work on this. Actually, I'm gonna put the circle on there real quick. The ellipse. We want the circle. One more down. A little thinner. Something like that. I appreciate that. Well, yeah, circle template, right? It means I'm a pro. That probably actually needs to be moved over a little bit. It's a little tight up here with this. Yeah, and then we'll do that over here. So we was this one, I think, just as a general thing. Yeah, this one. There we go. There we go. And we'll get the like a little spot here. There's top view, side view, probably is enough. This will be super basic. Is that Yokoi Ren? I'll just stick this thing over here. Good evening, everybody popping in. Gonna go to sleep. 4 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing? Are you Europe or something? We give a little bit of a broader thing right there. Alright, so there's the drone. Alright. Alright, let's rip this one out and pull this back just a little bit. Alright, this will be kind of implanted in here. Alright, so we'll go up here. Good evening, people popping in. Good evening. How much time? 9:15. Probably give it another 15 minutes or so and start shutting down. Good evening. Good evening, people popping in and out. Oh, you're in Turkey, huh? Oh, yeah, sorry, I wish I spoke Turkish, but I've had students from Turkey. One of them is an Imagineer from Istanbul. That was a long time ago. At least I think she's still an Imagineer. Hope so. Or hope she's doing what she wants to be doing at the very least. Feeling okay. Alright. See where we're going with this, right? Might just leave it in the pencil phase. I don't know. I was thinking about inking these, but maybe I'll blow these up in blue or something, ink them that way. I tend to fall in love with every phase of a project I'm working on. It's interesting. I'll talk to people who are mixed about different phases. You know, like they don't like doing backgrounds, or they don't like doing characters, or they don't like this or that. And I kind of like it all. Well, that's me. You know, I can't speak for other people. I get confused by people who don't like some part of the art making process. I don't know, maybe you all are that way, but I've never been that way. I'm always like, you know, I like doing it all. Let's see, I might need a piece of paper to throw on top of this while I so I don't have to put my hand on top. I'll do the front and then work my way back. That's might be one of the examples of my special productivity technique here, where one of the things I like to do for my own productivity is to basically pause on a project. Let's see, it's a little shiny up here for me. Basically pause on a project at a point where I know where I can continue the next time I want to work on it. And so that way I can kind of pick it up at a certain point and come back to it. Alright, I think this is right here. Goes a little bit above there. There we go. Oop. Alright, that's feeling better. Alright, 9:30 almost. Good evening. Alright. That comes up here. That's there. Coming down. I'll probably put all this into shadow. Let's see. Yeah, let's finish up this guy's boot over here. Good evening. I'll put this on pause for tonight. Let's see, how's that lining up there? A little higher up for you. Like that. Need some cleanup, but I'll just scoot it over because this one I can see really easy. This one's got a lot of shine on it. But I think either way, that's a good spot to stop for tonight. Put all of my toys away first. Hey, Bosch. All right, appreciate everybody that came in conversation, and we'll talk to you all next time.